kind of the newest man on the World Series of Fighting roster. I know you're getting to see it kind of firsthand for the first time. What's your initial impressions?
Okay, second time. So my first time behind the scenes, but the first show they ever had was in Vegas. I was out there right around, well, it would have been the very end of 2012 because it's filmed The Ultimate Fighter with John Jones, and I went to the event live, and it was an awesome event. I remember thinking when I was there, this is going to make it. You know, I remember thinking this is going to make it. It was a good card. Andrei Arlovsky was on the card, just to reminisce a little bit, but it was a good show. At that time, it was like a theater-style venue. It reminded me of a Pride fight, is what it reminded me of being there live. But it was cool, man. I sat next to James McSweeney. We had a very nice time.
Nice. Not your first go-around on the microphone, and obviously you're fantastic on the mic, but broadcasting is a little bit different than going up and cutting a promo or hyping a fight. For people that don't know, what's it like for you? Has it been challenging? Is it fun? What's it like?
John, every time I complain about any part of that job, I sound like the ultimate diva. And I don't mean to, but there is some moving parts to it. You know, you've got an earpiece in, somebody's yelling at you, you got to get in, you got to get out. You don't know when the segment's over because it could end like that. Then you got an instant replay coming back. Then you got a package. Somebody's telling you in your ear. There's some moving parts. And whenever I try to explain the difficulty, I just come off like a jerk, and I don't mean to, but there is some stuff going on there. It's more complicated than I thought. I used to think you put on a fancy suit, you hold a camera, and you have the best seat in the house, but there is more to it.
That's funny. This weekend we got a fantastic main event, the rematch, Gaethje and Palomino. Now, you've been in some rematches. You know, first fight with Anderson Silva, for instance, incredible fight. Second one, maybe didn't go quite the same way as far as quite as exciting, that sort of thing. What do you think? Can these guys live up to what they established in that first fight?
Well, it's definitely been done before. You know, rematches historically are a lot of fun. I mean, I'm thinking of several come to mind: Benson Henderson, Frank Yeager, Frank Edner, Grade Maynard. I guess I could go on and on, but rematches historically are a lot of fun. So yeah, I think that it can live up to it. It's really tough for me because in this role, I got to be completely unbiased. But I'm not unbiased. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I'm a mega. That's what I started as, was a fan, and that's how my career will end, as a fan. So it's tough. You know, I was in the elevator with Gaethje earlier today. I said, "Man, you sure do fight reckless." I told him that, and he said, "I do not. Everybody tells me that." And I said, "Well, you block a lot of punches with your face," and he said, "Only the top of my forehead." I don't know what that means. I don't know how he chose that as a way of defending himself, but he was adamant that he only gets punched in the top of the forehead. This is a rough dude. You know, people are comparing him to the lights of everybody in the UFC, of Bellator guys. They're saying that this is just one of the best 55-pounders out there. I don't know that I disagree. I think the Palomino's in that conversation too. That's just such a hard weight class, 155 pounds. You know, even when you look at the UFC, you got Dos Anjos on top now. Pettis was on the Wheatie box a year ago. Donald Cerrone's won his last 6 fights. Nurmagomedov has to be in that mix somewhere. The point I'm getting at is that belt changes hands a lot at that weight class. It's just a hard weight class.
Yeah. I know that you've had a lifetime of competition, and I'm sure you're happy being an analyst and being a broadcaster, doing all the things you do, but when it's fight week, when you're here, when you're around the athletes, you're seeing guys cutting weight, prepping, talking, do you ever get the itch at all to say, oh, maybe just one more time?
Not in a realistic standpoint, but I do fantasize about all the time. Wrestling. You and I had a great conversation earlier this week. We were talking about wrestling. World Championships were in Las Vegas. I watch that all the time. I think I want to go. I could get some points on these guys, but it's the work you have to do. It's not the competition. It's not the fighting. I don't want to work that hard anymore. You know, my life used to be miserable. I used to so depressingly terrible. Not enough sleep. My coach Clayton Hires was a military man. See, so he liked to have me on the hill by 6 a.m. That's not up at 6. That's on the hill. The hill's 30 minutes away. Well, I gotta have a cup of coffee. I gotta shake it. I'm up early, you know, cutting weight on top of that. Then you got the afternoon workout, and it was just really, really hard. And it was the only life I knew. I loved it at the time, but once it's gone, you know, it's just a simple situation of my race was ran. Besides, who am I going to fight? Chris Weidman becomes champion 3 months after I leave the division, and Daniel Cormier, I'll whip his ass, right? Who am I going to fight? What am I going to do? Come in there and clean up on these guys? Come on. Let these guys have a moment to shine. You got to put everybody over. Oh, Chael can't sell all the pay-per-views.